Hello everyone, and welcome back to Let's Play Pokemon Heartgold. I'm your host, Methodical Destruction, and we are talking to a man about, getting a apricorn box. So, basically, what apricorns do is that, you can take, later in the game, you can take apricorns to a man, and he will turn them into Pokeballs. And these aren't just like regular Pokeballs, like the, regular Pokeball, the Great Ball, or the Ultra Ball. What these will do is that they'll sometimes be special ones like the Net Ball, which will let you catch water types easier. And stuff like that. And they're pretty useful. I mean, I don't think I would prefer any of them to Ultra Balls, but, you know, they're free Pokeballs, basically, because you don't have to pay them to turn the apricorns into Pokeballs, so, you know, I would definitely suggest collecting apricorns as you're adventuring in Heartgold or Soul Silver. And so, yeah. But anyway, right now we are heading to we're heading to Mr. Pokemon to see what he wants, because apparently he wants to give Professor Elm something, so we are going to see exactly what that is he wants to give him. But right now we are fighting Hoot Hoot, since in this battle Fireballs levels up. And yeah, this is a bit of a tougher battle. This is a level 4 Hoot Hoot, so it does considerably more damage than a level 3 or 2 would. But we'll be stronger in due time. One thing I want to mention is that I'm going to try to use repels as much as often when I'm making these videos. I just haven't had the opportunity yet, because you can't buy them at this point in the game. And I'm going to be doing grinding off screen, so you're only going to see me doing the required trainer battles and the gym battles. So yeah, that will make the Let's Play go by a little bit smoother, give me more to talk about, so that way I won't bore you to death. But yeah, Fireballs is now level 7, and with that, we shall continue on to the lab. But first, let's pick up this apricorn here. And that's always useful. So, now that we have the apricorn, we shall talk to Mr. Pokemon. And so, yeah, he basically tells us he's Mr. Pokemon, and he gives you the item that you need to deliver to Professor Elm, which is an egg. And this egg does have a bit of importance later in the game, but for now it's basically just something you need to bring to Professor Elm. You can't do anything with it. It's a key item, so that's just what you get. And you'll see who that man standing there is in a second. And as you can read, this is Professor Oak, who we met at the beginning of the game. And Professor Oak basically says that he wants to give you a Pokédex. And this Pokédex will allow you to view wild Pokemon and trainer Pokemon. You can view their info in the Pokédex. And if you catch a Pokemon, it will allow you to save a lot of their info, like their description and other cool, interesting stuff. So, yep, that's just what Professor Oak does in this game, and you do see him at later points in the game, but this is by far his most important role here. So, with that, let's go back to Professor Elm. Oh, what's this? A phone call? And so basically, Professor Elm says that something bad has happened, and with that, you're going to want to go back to his lab as quickly as possible. But yeah, we do get into a couple encounters on the way. I cut them all out, so that's nice, I guess. And yep, you have to head through Cherry Grove City like you came, and go see Professor Elm. But something happens on the way I forgot about this part actually. I was originally going to buy some repels here, but I didn't realize they didn't sell them at this point, so we just leave. I should have cut that out, but whatever. So now we are approaching... Oh, it's the red-haired kid from earlier. And basically he challenges you to a battle. And this is your first rival battle, which will be a reoccurring theme in this game. So, he, as you can see, has a Totodile, and you're basically led to assume that he took this Totodile from Professor Elm's lab, since you didn't choose Totodile. And, yeah, so you just have to do this simple fight with the Totodile, and it's really easy, especially if you've gained 2 or 3 levels on your way to giving, I'm sorry, not giving, for getting the package from Mr. Pokemon. And Totodile doesn't have any attacks that will hurt you badly, because it doesn't know any Water-type moves. So, really, you're pretty evenly matched here. There won't be any problems, unless his Totodile gets lucky with critical hits. But, that is not the case here, and we easily defeat his Totodile with HP to spare. And we get some experience and level up! So now Fireballs is level 8, which is swell. And we get 500 Pokédollars for winning. And this part here is kind of funny. This basically is just a way to explain how you know this guy's name. So, this wasn't in the original game, by the way. In the original game, he wasn't called Passerby Boy, it was just a bunch of question marks. So, this is kind of the game's way of explaining who exactly this kid is. But you can still name him whatever you want, like in the original Gold, Silver, and Crystal. So yeah, so now all that we have to do is head to Professor Elm's lab, and after we are at Professor Elm's lab, then all we have to do is give him the egg. But first, the police are here. And for whatever reason, they assume that you are the one that trashed Elm's lab and stole a Totodile. I don't know why, but anyway, Lyra is able to clear up your name, which is swell. And you're basically off the hook. And the police leaves without really doing anything else. But you do get to name this character, like I said before. And I was originally going to name him something that was a little bit mean-spirited, but I decided against it, as you will see in a moment. I ended up naming him Twat. I only named him this as a joke. I originally was actually going to keep this, but I accidentally pressed B, so I was like, you know what the hell, I'm just going to give him his default name. So I did. I just went to OK from here, and yeah. And I actually didn't know his default name, but I kind of guessed it would end up being Soul. And we accept. And that is it from the police officer. So he's never actually captured, is one thing to mention. This is really the only point that he does any kind of crime. But he will fight you later in the game, so he does appear again. Don't get me wrong. And now we have given Elm the mystery egg. And later in the game, Elm actually will give you this mystery egg, and you are able to hatch it. And I'm not going to spoil what's in the mystery egg, but it is a fairly useful Pokemon if you can get it to evolve. But we'll get into that when I actually get the mystery egg, because I plan on making the mystery egg Pokemon part of my team. But regardless, basically Elm is saying that we can challenge the different gyms, and if we so choose. So basically, our only goal is to go to those gyms and challenge the gym leaders. But first you have to talk to your mother, otherwise you can't leave the city. Or town. This is a town, I suppose. And she gives you the option to save your money, but I honestly would not recommend it, because all she'll do is give you items occasionally, and they're not exactly the most useful items. Like, she may give you a Repel, or a Pokeball, or a Super Potion or something. Nothing that I would really say is worth giving her some of your money for. You're better off just buying it by yourself. But I could be wrong, maybe she does end up giving you good stuff, but I never found it that useful. But if you do know some other stuff that she gives you that is actually useful that you can't buy in the shops, then just tell me in the comments below, because I would actually be very interested to know. And this is the tutorial on how to catch Pokemon. And Lyra shows you this with her Marill. And this is I don't really see why they have to show you how to catch a Pokemon. I think that you can learn pretty easily enough by just playing the game and then saying, oh, weaken the Pokemon and then use a Pokeball in your bag to catch it. Because, I mean, it's not that hard, really. I mean, most people I know just learned when they first got Red and Blue. They would just say, oh, I got Pokeballs, well, let's try using one. And then they would just catch a Pokemon. But the fact that it is easier to catch them when they're weakened is something that you should know beforehand. So keep that in mind, especially later in the game. Later in the game, you really need to weaken some Pokemon to catch them. And one thing Lyra doesn't mention is that if a Pokemon has a status ailment such as sleep, paralyzed, or frozen, or whatever, that will allow it to be caught easier. So I would recommend doing that if you want to have a better rate of catching them. But this early in the game, there's really no need for it. Just hit them once or twice so that they're fairly low, throw the Pokeball, and you're pretty much guaranteed to catch it, unless it's rare. Because, like, the Pokemon we're encountering now, these are pretty weak Pokemon, like Rattata and Pidgey and... not Pidgey, sorry, Hoot Hoot. So yeah, these are pretty easy enemies, and you don't really have to worry too much about them. But anyway, we are in a battle with a level 3 Hoot Hoot, and the reason I'm showing this battle is because I level up here. And it's not too bad, really. I mean, this is like, these Hoot Hoots are pretty easy to defeat, even when you're only level 5. But by the time you're about level 10 or 11, you're not going to want to fight Hoot Hoots anymore. You're pretty much good to continue on with the game and fight trainers and stuff. If I had to guess, I'm thinking that Fireballs will probably end up being fully evolved by the time we reach the first gym, because there is actually a little area we have to go through before we can hit the gym. And I will be talking about that once we get to it. But anyway... now we are approaching Cherry Grove City, and from Cherry Grove City we are going to take the route we were just on, which I believe is route, or actually no, I guess we're going to heal first. I forgot about this. I seem to be forgetting a lot of things in this video, but yeah, as the old man explained in the last episode, you're going to want to heal your Pokemon at the Pokemon Center, and this is for free, so it's not like your typical RPG where you have to spend some money to sleep in a hotel or an inn or whatever. You can heal your Pokemon whenever you want, and it's always free, even if you have 6 Pokemon. So keep that in mind, okay? And that's always a good thing. So now we are heading up to the first route where you actually fight trainers. And this is our very first trainer battle, except for our rival, I suppose. And he's pretty weak. All that he has is a level 4 Rattata, and your Pokemon should be more than capable of defeating it. Especially if you defeated your rival and have fought a couple wild Pokemon like I have. Really, it's an easy battle. I took it out in 2 blows, so even if you're low level, you should have no issues. And this is also a required battle too, you can't skip this, so yeah. And you get his phone number, and what happens is if you have a character's phone number, you can battle them again, and they will have stronger Pokemon. So I would actually recommend this highly, because if you want to level up a Pokemon, fighting trainers is by far the best way to do it, because a trained Pokemon will give you more experience than just a regular Pokemon. So for example, this level 2 Pidgey will give me more experience than if I fought a regular Pidgey. So always keep that in mind when you're fighting Pokemon, because if you have trainer battles to do, it's going to be a lot faster than just fighting wild Pokemon. But anyway, we are fighting his Rattata, and we are closely approaching the end of the video. So, anyway, one thing I want to mention is that after this battle we level up and we learn the move Ember, because I don't have much time after this battle ends. So, yep. we got a level up, so that's all swell, and we learned Ember. And anyway, that's the end of the video. I've been Methodical Destruction, and thank you for watching. Bye.